welcome to this week's episode of Beyond This, that podcast that talks about everything from life to spirit and all those things in between. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about something that comes up in nearly every single reading I do. Actually, that's a lie. It's come up in nearly every single reading I've done in the last week or so. And it's something that a lot of people don't think about, and how it can shape your whole life and help you empower yourself, not only against what you may be facing tomorrow, but against your past that may be holding you back. We're going to be talking about self-concept and how self-concept can help you shape yourself and empower yourself in ways you didn't even know existed. I'm also going to talk about the reasons why our self-concept can be a little bit lacking. And I'm also going to talk about giving you some tips and tricks to help that grow and empower yourself. If you do some of these things, if you take on board some of the stuff I'm going to be talking about today, you will not recognize yourself within the next 6 months. First of all, though, I'm going to talk about some of the current affairs that's been going on. I'm going to make light of some of them. We are going to be talking a little bit more in depth towards the end of today's episode. That you don't want to miss. A lot of questions I get asked on social media are going to be answered a little bit later on in today's episode, along with all of the other predictions that I see coming up. Does anyone recognize this sound? When I tell you I laughed so hard when I watched that parade, it was Temu. It was North Korea on Temu. The military, and I've talked about this on my podcast, so if you are a podcast member, we will have talked about this in the last couple of days. I have been on Patreon 3 days in a row. 3 days in a row. Are you not sick of me already? The military it was basically, malicious compliance. They didn't want to be there. They really, really didn't want to be there. The Marines didn't want to be in LA. It's all a bit of a farce. And did I say that he was going to be emotional for Trump? And he was a bit pouty and a little bit sad. And I think a couple of tomato ketchup containers were thrown when he got back to the office. He ain't happy. A bit worried that he's going to take it out on social media. And when I say that, TikTok's supposed to close on the 19th or be banned on the 19th. It may happen that he throws a temper tantrum and won't support it anymore. He's really looking at getting under the skin of what he calls the liberal left, the woke people, but he's failing miserably. I will talk about it a little later. This weekend we'll also see increase. Certainly we aren't going to beat No King's Day, but there will be increase people on the streets protesting against him, and he is hitting a lot of states hard with ICE. It's interesting. Many people I don't know what her name is on social media, and I certainly wouldn't mention her outright, but there's a girl who claims to have done a hypnotherapy course since the election. And she's trained herself so much in the last 4 or 5 months that she's able to tell you the exact date that Trump is going to die. No spiritual person in this world is ever going to give you the date of death. No one. I have been given close to by people, but they are people that are practitioners like myself and know that I'm a practitioner. But someone's going on social media that says they were trained a few months ago, declaring they knew the day that Trump was going to die, and notice he's still alive. But I will say that his health is declining rapidly. Certainly his cognitive ability is declining. My initial prediction, which I gave last year, which was a stroke sometime this year that will debilitate him, still stands. I am not moving away from that prediction. I'm not going to give you an exact date, but I am going to say that I feel it's getting closer, if that helps at all. But he isn't very happy. He's also going to be struggling quite significantly at the moment because he is not, contrary to popular belief, he's very uncomfortable with the thought of war. And the fact that he has gone through his life controlling people, and he's realizing the lack of control he has over the likes of Netanyahu. So that's what I want to say about that. We'll talk about it a little bit, the predictions that I've seen, not so much the in-depth stuff, a little bit later in today's episode. But today's episode is really about you. Yep, you listening to me. Whether you are listening to me whilst you are driving the kids to school, I hope not. You know better than that. You know better than to listen to Matilda whilst you're driving your young, influential, easily influenced children to school, and the language that Matilda can drop occasionally. So let's hope you're not driving your children to school. Maybe you're going for a nice walk. I believe I do accompany people on their hot girl walk during the summer. So I like to travel, and my wings have been clipped for a little bit too long and I couldn't come to the States. Please pop in the comment section what town you take me on a walk. I would love to know what city or town or location I get to go on a hot girl walk with you. I would love to know that. But you could be just folding the washing. I often listen to a podcast whilst I'm gardening. So whatever you are doing, we are going to be talking about you. And we're going to be talking about your sense of self, your sense of self-concept. It has come up a lot lately in a couple of readings that I've done. And I've noticed a bit of a trend where if you have a fear of failure or a fear of judgment, it's coming from a place within you that sometimes you can't place. Our self-concept, our sense of self, is the concrete at the bottom of the building that is you. It's the concrete that you build everything and all of your other beliefs upon. And it's given to us. It's created by those around us when we are in or at an impressionable age. This can be parents, it can be siblings, it can be teachers, it can be friends. When we are at a vulnerable time in our life and we're absorbing everything and we are becoming conditioned, it can also happen through religion or teachings of religion that are second nature to the adults in our life, and they don't think twice about it. But that concrete that builds the rest of you upon it, that is built through the thoughts, the impressions, the treatment of others. And then we start to believe that we are that. And often those that create us, that mold us and condition us at a young age aren't necessarily doing so for our greatest good. They're actually doing what they are doing because it suits them, especially people in my age group, in their 50s and 50s, where parenting, adulting, teaching came from a different school. It came from a school of control. It came from a place of, I need to teach you this because it suits my mentality. I am going to condition you to believe in this because it suits me. Often, the child, the vulnerable person, is not the first and foremost thought in that teaching. And therefore, we can get to our adult life and not realize that every decision, every thought, every thing that we have to decide about ourselves or for ourselves comes from a place that was built many years ago and built to suit someone else. It can be as simple as trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. You've been wearing a suit that suits other people. And it's not till we get a bit older that we have a reading that tells us about it, or we start on that spiritual journey and we suddenly think, okay, well, everyone's told me that I need to believe X, Y, Z. And for the last 20 years, my dad's told me I'm useless or that I'm stupid. And they're flippant words that a certain generation used on a regular basis, but they penetrate us. And that's where our self-concept is formed. It's formed from the primary school teacher that told us we'd never have tidy handwriting. It's formed from the gymnastics coach that told us we were a little bit too chunky to do gymnastics. It's formed from the English teacher that constantly pulled us up for misspelling. It's formed from the person that told us we never sit still. And did they ever think about why we never sat still? It's formed from our parents telling us that we needed to be seen and not heard because it suited them for us to be seen and not heard. It's formed from us being told never to show emotion because it made those around us uncomfortable. So all of those ideals, that self-concept, that belief in yourself is formed by all of those words and that treatment in your younger years. You have become a product of all of those that put a little piece in. And you were never, ever told to form your own belief in who you are. You are not alone, obviously, because I have had many people in recent weeks that needed to address their self-concept, who struggle with making decisions and taking risks because they fear the criticism of younger years is going to come back. That concrete that has formed the belief system as to who you are, and your belief system not only as to what you think and who you think you are, but who you think other people think you are. It's all encompassed. It's very difficult sometimes to change the conditioning that you have. We've talked many times about the religious conditioning, about the social conditioning. What about the inside conditioning? What about the conditioning that you've become the person that you are now because other people told you you had to be that person? Your self-concept is what empowers you. If we have a low self-concept, if we believe that we deserve less because of the way we were brought up, the fact that we may have not been made to feel important or as if we were difficult or if we were never going to succeed, if we go into our adult years like that, we are going to continually settle for less. We also go into our adult years as a people pleaser, as somebody that puts other people's needs and wants before our own, because if we express ourselves, we're going to be told that we're too expressive, we're too emotional. But I'm here to tell you that you can rebuild and recondition your self-concept with a few easy self-help tools. It's going to take time. It may even make you feel angry and emotional when you realize that you've been conditioned to feel and think one way. But the benefits of empowering yourself with a positive sense of self-concept is phenomenal. It will make a difference in your personal relationships, your romantic relationships, your ability to set boundaries in your workplace. When you stop feeling you are a victim and move through the victimhood and come out that butterfly that you've been waiting to be, that's when you empower yourself. And we're going to talk about that straight after we do our Patreon shout-outs for this week. We're going to give our shout outs to our Patreon, our newest Patreon members. I want to remind everyone that without Patreon, without the Patreon supporters, there would be no podcast. There would be no social media at all. Patreon allows me to be able to produce the teachings that I do, whether it be on my podcast, whether it be on Patreon, and whether it be on social media. So every week, our newest Patreon supporters get a shout out. Not only that, our Patreon supporters get access to, depending on your level of membership, from the $15 and up, you get discounts and early access to all of my dates and courses and workshops and readings. Lovely discounts went out this month for Patreon members. I think there was almost 40% off all readings. And the other thing you get, there are extra podcasts. There is the opportunity to ask questions. I am on the chats, as I've said. I've been on there 3 times this week already. Catching up, lifting energy. We do. Okay. Full disclosure. The chats on Patreon are not about predictions. They're not for people to come in and ask me who's doing who in the world or who's doing what. They are really an opportunity for us to get to know our community, to build our community, and we have a lot of fun. I will be starting up a new chat, which will be a deep dive. There are several levels of Patreon, and that includes the metaphysical mavens who it's all about learning how to produce your spiritual. Basically, if you are starting a metaphysical practice and you want to learn your marketing, your booking system, your website, all of that, that's going to be kicking off a little bit more in the coming weeks. I've been a little bit slack about that. Other levels get to ask questions. We have a coffee morning every single month, and you can ask me whatever current affair or spiritual question you want. Honestly, Patreon, we have so much fun. But you can, for just $5, you get a newsletter and to join the chats and to sponsor my podcast. We are going to give our shout outs, though, to Diamond, Alana. Hi, Alana. I have noticed you in the chats a lot, and you've joined for 12 months. Teresa Ramos, Georgina Grindon, Stacey Sullivan, Kristen Thomas, Julie Ann, Wendy, who has joined for 12 months. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sandra, Brianna, Tracy, Yelani, Taylor, Ingrid, Laura, Marianne, who joined for 12 months, Kath, who joined for 12 months, Kim, how fun is that? Kath and Kim side by side, if you know, you know. And Kelly Mendoza. Thank you, guys. You guys rock. You make this podcast possible. So how can you recondition your self-concept? There's a few ways. There's a handful of things that need to be done side by side. And the first thing I want you to do is actually be kind to yourself. Because when we are conditioned to believe in a certain way, whether it be religious, parental, social conditioning, being kind to ourselves as we try and move through that is one of the most important things, because it's not something that you ever had control over. But this is sometimes, for some people, this is the first time you have control over your own concept of who you are. Being kind to yourself as you do this and letting go of the anger that you may feel is incredibly important. Gentleness is something that everyone should show themselves when they are going through and letting go of something. It is incredibly important. Learning to set boundaries. You may have been conditioned that you are not as important as other people, or you may have become a people pleaser. And it's really important to learn that boundaries are that if somebody is stepping over the mark when it comes to your time, your energy, your money, what you are comfortable with, then you must learn to say no, or to be able to say, it is not a great time for me. or I don't have capacity for that right now. Now, this can be people that have conditioned you to be of service to them, or you may have started a new job, and in previous jobs, you've always been the first to hold your hand up to take on all the extra work. And then you felt like you are less than. Feel comfortable to take on what you have capacity for. If you're dating somebody and they want to push things in a direction that you are not ready for, feel comfortable to say no. And feeling as we grow our self-concept, you will feel more empowered and more comfortable with the concept that if I say no and somebody doesn't like it, that's about them. It's not about me. And that's a really hard thing for people to do when they're conditioned to grow up in a way that is, when they grow up in a way to be a people pleaser. Another really interesting way to help reprogram your mind, reprogram your conditioning, is to repeat the words that you craved when you were younger. So if you were younger, at times when you felt emotionally unsafe, now I'm not talking about physical unsafeness, I'm talking about emotional unsafety. When you felt you weren't listened to, when you felt you weren't valued, when you felt that you weren't allowed to show emotion, or you weren't made to feel as if you were important, what I call the I am words. And the I am words, when you put I am in front of a sentence, you become that. Okay. When we use sentences like, I am brilliant, I am beautiful, I am worthy, I am worth the effort, we are reprogramming our mind and our conscious to believe those words. The more we say them, the more we are supposed to be them. And these words are often words that you didn't hear in your younger years that you needed to hear. I am worthy and I am worth the effort are really important words, because many people like you have settled for less over the years, whether it be from friendships, parents, teachers, romantic relationships, and you deserve to feel as if you are worthy. Repeating those affirmations, the I am words, as often as you can will help reprogram your conditioning to a place of comfort and empower you to understand that many people and the way they treat you is about them. It's not about you in any way. And when we know that, the relief that should come flooding out of you to understand that you are worth so much more than other people's opinions, and often your own opinion of yourself, should be really amazing. All of these tools are set to empower you and embolden you to do the things that you have never wanted to do for fear of judgment and fear of criticism. Another thing, I want you to stop comparing yourself to other people. It really is the thief of joy. I know it is a common saying that comparison is the thief of joy, but it really is. And if you compare yourself to other people, not only are you taking away your own joy, but you're also not understanding and realizing that you are a unique human being that deserves so much more. Go with being unique. Who cares if someone's taller, shorter, fatter, thinner than you? These people that get onto social media and criticize the first thing they see, they've got a problem. Block them. Block their ass, because they don't deserve your energy. Has anyone noticed that I've just been blocking people constantly? Well, actually, I haven't. I've been blocking anyone that wants to criticize, because it's about them, not me. If I get one more person that comes into my comment section and say, why should we believe you? You've got the election wrong. I just block them. I'm not going to argue with them. That's their problem. It's not mine. Their inability to look outside into the world and take things in is on them, not you. Take that with everybody you come into. So what if someone's got a bigger qualification than you? You've got a bigger smile. You're brighter. You bring in the warmth into a room. Stop comparing yourself to other people. Self-care is a real mark of whether you respect yourself or not. And if you do not respect you, how can you expect other people to do the same? I don't care who you are. You have 5 minutes a day to go for a walk. You have 5 minutes a day to read a book. Self-care is important. I know you guys are walking because you're all taking me on your hot girl walk, but self-care looks different from everybody else. All right? It doesn't have to be the same. Some people run marathons as self-care. I think they're lunatics, but we're going to ignore that. Some people like doing Pilates or swimming or surfing or fishing. Whatever your self-care is, no one else can judge. But self-care is important. The other way to build your self-concept is this inner voice that criticizes yourself all the time. It's your voice. It's your voice. If nothing else in this world, you have control over your voice. And if you don't, then go and see a doctor. You don't need a psychic medium. Your voice, your inner voice. When you're getting ready and you criticize yourself, when you make a mistake and you criticize yourself, when you don't get what you want and you criticize yourself, when you automatically go to the point of, I made a mistake. Stop the inner dialogue of hate on you. Some of you people have got hate crimes against yourself. Fix it. When you find yourself happening and doing that, turn it around. I want you to do 3 things that are wonderful about yourself. I will name 3 things that I'm happy about myself. I like my sense of humor. I like my hair. And I'm struggling to find the third one. And I like the fact that I'm nice to people most of the time. But we can all find 3 things that we like about ourselves. I want you to practice the inner. How can you expect people to be nice to you if you're not nice to yourself? Think about it. So all of these things are a daily task. They need to be put into action. We're going to stop criticizing ourselves. Our inner monologue is going to be nicer to us. We're going to do our affirmations, our I ams. I am wonderful. I am beautiful. I take care of others. We're going to set boundaries with ourselves and with other people. Really important. We're going to stop comparing ourselves. All of those things are really, really important for you to start looking at your self-concept. Do this for 6 months and you will not recognize yourself. The empowerment that you will feel and the realization that other people are assholes because they are assholes, not because of you. You never, ever deserve poor treatment from another human being. And you should never, ever accept it because they tell you that you deserve it. As I've always said, some people don't know they're assholes and they need to be told. Put all this into action and I can't wait to hear about the results. Now, I'm going to finish that off because I want to talk about something that I've talked about here on my podcast a lot. The trolling that goes on online. Now, you will know, if you've been following me for a while, that I got trolled horrifically over the election. And Laurie got trolled over the election. They are one-off events, or you would like to think they are one-off events. There's been a number of people that are setting about themselves to troll people online because it makes them feel a little bit better. I've had 2 or 3. I know who they are. I'm a fucking psychic. Do you really think with your stupid pretend name handle that I don't know who you are? There are very few people in this world that I fall out with. And if I do, I know that you've come back to troll me. So it doesn't bother me so much. However, there has been some horrendous instances of trolling online. There is an Australian creator called Indy Clinton who has been trolled by repeat offenders. I told you last year that this was the year that people get outed, that the truth will come out. And I said it will be in all walks of life for various reasons. And Indy, God bless her heart. And I love Indy Clinton. I love her chaotic family. I think she is phenomenal. There's a lot of people that go, oh, how does she live in chaos? Her kids don't have any structure, blah. If I was one of her kids and I was living on that beach, fishing, surfing, living the life that she has created for those 3 beautiful kids, I would be blessed. All right. She's not everyone's cup of tea, but no one's going to be everyone's cup of tea. But she was trolled relentlessly, and nasty trolls, like the same ones time and time again. And we always know when it's the same people because they repeat themselves, the same cadence to their language, etc. And she paid for a private investigator to track down some of her trolls. She tracked down their names, where they worked, what they did. There is no hiding on the internet. Nothing should be hidden. And that is one instance of it. There is also, I've talked about a website called Tattle, where they're arseholes. I've never known such an unhinged group of people that talk about creators in a way that they do. You can tell that these people are jealous just by their words. And they've even gone so far as reporting certain creators to DHS or the police for made up charges to cause harm to them and upset. Well, the owner of that got unearthed too. There is more to come on the social media front. Do not doubt that there are more trolls to come out, more laws around trolls, and I expect charges to be laid. I think I did talk about somebody laying charges against their trolls. I'm going to have to find that video. I've just had a flashback to last year, and now I know what it was about. There you go. But do not doubt that these people will get what they deserve, because the laws are changing rapidly to make people accountable and less hidden online. And I, for one, couldn't be happier. But I did say that this was going to happen. And it will start rolling out into politicians, into journalists, into more public figures. And it is the undoing of many of them. So I just wanted to talk about that, because Indy Clinton is now my hero, and I think she deserves a medal. I know she's not everyone's cup of tea, but, I like her. So I wanted to talk about that. I'm also going to talk about, okay, I forgot. For a second, just give me a second. I forgot what I was going to talk about. Okay, I'm going to cover the US very quickly, and then I'm going to move on to the UK. I don't have anything. The only thing I'm going to say about Australia right now is they are going to raise another amnesty for guns, weapons. In the next couple of months, there's going to be a new amnesty for people to hand in weapons. As we see an increase, and I know there's been a couple in the last week, there's more of an increase in gun crimes. I think that there's going to be a bit of an embarrassment. I think it's getting closer for the embarrassment for Albanese, and a shuffle within his new cabinet, I am expecting. US, more information about the election fraud coming out. I think it may even be coming from Elon. He's going to have another meltdown either end of this week or early next week. Trump is going to have an embarrassing situation where he's going to have another fall. Okay, I know he fell up the aeroplane. I think he's going to fall or trip, lose his balance, and take someone with him. It feels like, it doesn't feel like they go all the way. And he's also going to look very disheveled in the coming weeks. I have always said that he's going to have a stroke. I don't think it's very far away. I don't like putting timing on it. But I've always said that I don't see him being president towards the end of the year. How that happens, I'm not 100% sure. I do think there is going to be some form of military involvement within the White House and extracting him, whether that's he's carried out or he's pulled out. I'm not sure. We don't get to see everything. I want to warn about this I have talked last week about Iran and Israel kicking off. And fuck, that happened. I am concerned about the use of weapons of a nuclear kind. I'm not talking about World War III or total nuclear annihilation. I feel like we're going to get very, very close over the next 3 or 4 weeks to people will be holding their breath. If they use them, it is going to be in Israel, towards Israel. I am concerned of a major terrorist attack on USA soil. I have been concerned of this for a while, and I do see Washington as one of its targets. So that's going to be your heads up. And if one person comes to me and asks me for timing, I will scream, I don't have timing. It's soon, is what I want to say. Soon can be any time between now and the next 3 or 4 months. The East Coast certainly is going to be a target. It could be domestic terrorism, but I do see explosions on the East Coast. So be aware. Know your surroundings. If you are in the Washington, D.C. area, buy some duct tape for the windows. I just suggest you do that. I see a whole knowledge about the election? Not just yet. I still think it's some weeks away. There's a lot of stuff that has been going on behind the scenes that you are not aware of. And I've said that right from the beginning. And these things take time and legal. There is no precedence for it. So it is hard. Do I see, do you know what? I see there's going to be a problem in the Senate, like chaos, something like that. The UK, I feel there is something to do with Starmer. Starmer? I just feel like there's going to be a vote of no confidence very soon against him. Between now and the end of the year is what I'm being shown. Okay. There feels like there's a lot of councils coming out and they've lost money or pleading poor. I just remembered that horrible thing that I said was going to happened in Ireland where they found lots of bodies, babies' bodies, and that's horrific. I don't like my predictions when they come in. I hope they don't. I have no problem people telling me my predictions don't come in because some of them are really dark and I'd rather they didn't happen. The UK problem with the trains, it feels like there's like all the trains stop working at once. I don't know whether it's an electrical fault or the lines are hacked or something, but it feels like, I'm so sorry, trains out of London, like they all stop at the same time. And there's a problem out in Windsor, like Windsor Castle's going to be on the news for some reason. It could be, I think they're on a hill, but I just see water and Windsor Castle being an issue. I'm going to leave it there with the predictions that for this week. You can always keep up to date on my Patreon page, which the link is in my show notes, or what I put on social media. I never go into a lot of depth on social media because people are assholes on social media to me, and I don't like it, and it's not fair, and it makes me feel bad, and then I get cranky. So, yeah. If you want predictions, they're here, Patreon, social media. Don't forget to sign up for the workshop that is happening at the end of June. It is the Are You Listening course about how to tap into your guides, get to know them, build a relationship with them, and use your intuition and guidance for good. Lots of dates for group evidential mediumship readings on Zoom. They are linked below. I think the one for this weekend is full, or it only had one space left. And that's about it from me this week. I am going to go and have my dinner now. It's late on Tuesday, and I've been very naughty and late in recording this. Hopefully it gets out on time. Thank you for joining me. Take care of yourself. Lots of love, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.